Every single week, the same thing happens in millions of gardens. The mower runs, the bags fill up, and one of the most powerful soil inputs nature provides completely free gets dragged to the curb and thrown away. That pile of clippings sitting outside your door right now contains nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, and calcium. Those are the exact nutrients you are paying real money to buy back at the garden center, processed, packaged, and shipped. The raw material was already yours. In the next 10 minutes, you will never look at your lawnmower the same way again, and you will wonder why nobody told you this sooner. This is not a gardening hack. It is a completely different way of understanding the living system underneath your feet. We are going to walk through 3 methods today: how grass clippings work inside a compost bin without turning into a slimy, stinking mess, how they function as a mulch layer that holds moisture so effectively that watering becomes almost optional. And we are going to cover a fermentation technique rooted in Korean natural farming that transforms fresh clippings into a liquid fertilizer, one that gets stronger the longer you leave it, not weaker. Most gardeners go their entire lives never using half of what their lawn produces. Stay with this. The second method contains a technique almost nobody talks about, and it solves a problem most compost bins have every summer. For most of human history, the idea of throwing away plant material was unthinkable. Everything that grew from the soil went back into the soil: growth, decomposition, renewal. That cycle was the engine behind some of the most fertile land ever cultivated. Farmers did not need a label to tell them organic matter feeds the ground. They watched it happen every season. Then the lawn became a status symbol. Grass became something to be trimmed, bagged, and removed. And with it went a steady supply of nutrients the earth needed. Today, gardeners pay for nitrogen fertilizer, moisture retention products, and compost activators, buying back, in processed form, exactly what they hauled away in plastic bags the week before. Grass clippings contain roughly 4% nitrogen, enough to fully fertilize the average vegetable garden from a single mowing season, along with potassium, phosphorus, and calcium. These are the core building blocks of healthy soil. The only reason most gardeners do not use them is that nobody ever showed them how. Once you understand the basic principles, layering, drying, fermenting, grass clippings stop being waste. They become one of the most versatile and cost-effective inputs any grower has access to. The biggest misconception about grass clippings in the compost is that they always turn into a wet, smelly sludge. That does happen, but only when fresh clippings are piled on in thick, solid layers that trap moisture and cut off airflow. The fix is simple. Never apply them more than about 2 to 3 centimeters deep in a single layer, and always mix or alternate them with a carbon-rich material such as shredded cardboard or dry leaves. A particularly effective combination is shredded cardboard and grass clippings, roughly 1 part grass to 2 to 3 parts cardboard by volume. The cardboard provides carbon structure. The grass provides nitrogen and moisture. Turn the pile regularly. Keep it evenly moist, and decomposition can complete in around 2 months under good conditions. It is one of the cheapest ways to produce bulk compost for raised beds and growing areas. Now here is something almost nobody knows about. Grass clippings can be converted from a nitrogen-rich green material into a carbon-rich brown material simply by drying them out. Spread them in a thin layer on a tarpaulin or cardboard during a few dry days, flip them once or twice daily, and within days you have a brown material ready for the compost bin. Labor-intensive, but a completely free solution for anyone who struggles to find enough carbon material. And what comes next makes the compost trick look simple. Applied correctly, a layer of grass clippings around your plants does 3 things at once. It suppresses weeds by blocking light from reaching seeds in the soil. It reduces evaporation and keeps moisture in the root zone. And as it breaks down, it adds organic matter that improves soil structure long after the clippings themselves have disappeared. For gardens where slugs are not a significant problem, a layer of around 2 to 3 centimeters works well. Apply it while plants are still small so you can work cleanly around them. For gardens with high slug pressure, keep the layer as thin as possible, just enough to retain moisture without creating a damp refuge. One effect that is easy to underestimate: mulch fundamentally changes how water enters the soil. Dry, bare soil causes rain and irrigation water to run off the surface before it reaches plant roots. An organic surface layer catches the water, spreads it evenly, and allows it to move steadily downward into the root zone. Over time, as organic matter works its way into the soil itself, it increases water-holding capacity. Research consistently shows that increasing soil organic matter meaningfully improves water retention, making regular mulching a long-term investment in drought resilience. Grass clippings do not have to come from a mower. Longer grass cut with shears or a scythe works just as well, particularly around the base of perennial plants, fruit trees, and shrubs. Low effort, high return. But the third method is the one most people refuse to believe the first time they hear it. Now for what is arguably the most impressive use of grass clippings in the garden, a fermented liquid fertilizer. This method comes from JDAM, a Korean natural farming system developed by Yongsang Cho, and the input is called JLF, short for JDAM liquid fertilizer. According to JDAM, a grass-based JLF is well suited as a general-purpose fertilizer that supports balanced plant growth throughout the growing season, up to the point of flowering or fruiting. Making it requires very little. You need a container, a large bucket, or a repurposed vessel, lined with an opaque bag to exclude light, which supports a healthier fermentation environment. Fill it to around 75 to 90% capacity with fresh grass clippings. Add rainwater until the grass is just covered. Then sprinkle a small amount of mature compost or leaf mold over the surface. This introduces the biology needed to drive the fermentation. Fold the bag over to partially seal the top and leave it. After a minimum of 10 days to 2 weeks, the liquid is ready to use for the first time. Dilute it at a ratio of 1 part fertilizer to 30 parts water. As the fermentation matures over weeks and months, the liquid grows more concentrated and dilution ratios increase accordingly. From around 1 to 30 for fresh batches, up to 1 to 100 or beyond for aged JLF. After a year or more, experienced growers work with dilutions of 1 to 300 or higher. The liquid simply becomes more potent the longer it is left. Draw off the liquid as needed, keep the solids in, top up with fresh grass and water, and a single container can serve as a continuous fertilizer source for years. It is worth pausing to ask a question. Why is all of this so little known? The methods covered today cost nothing. None of them can be patented. None of them require a package, a subscription, or a trip to the store. They come from what is already growing outside your door. The gardening industry is a multi-billion-dollar market built largely on selling people the inputs they already have access to, in a different form. Nitrogen fertilizer, moisture retention granules, compost activators, mulching products. Nearly every one of these solves a problem that grass clippings, used correctly, also solves. The difference is not the outcome. The difference is the price tag. The market has no incentive to teach what it cannot sell, and what is never sold is never advertised. What is never advertised, most people never learn. That is not a conspiracy. It is simply how markets work. Understanding that does not mean rejecting every product on the shelf. It means being selective. It means knowing that when a free, functional solution is already available. Starting there, before reaching for your wallet, is almost always the right move. What you cannot buy cannot run out. Next time the mower runs, leave the bag off. Look at what you have. Nitrogen for the soil, water for the roots, food for the microorganisms that hold the whole system together, and the raw material for a fertilizer that gets better every single month it sits. The soil does not care about packaging. It just wants back what it grew. The lawn never needed a bin. It needed you to pay attention.